Hey guys, what's up? This is Peter from Thalia Capos, and I'm here for a quick tip. I'm going to talk about muting strings with your left hand. Or if you're left-handed, your right hand. Your fingering hand. This is super helpful for playing chords, for playing rhythm, for getting a nice, clean, tight chord sound with notes that you don't want to hear not being played, which is the goal, right? Okay, so what is this idea of muting strings? Well, let me show you on a D chord, which is, if you don't know a D chord, it's fingered like this. And you'll notice on the chart, there are two little X's over the lowest strings. That means you don't want to play those, but if you're strumming hard, it's hard to not hit those two strings. And you get this really wonky, low, ringing stuff that is not helpful and doesn't sound like a D chord anymore. So those X's are there to tell you to not play those strings. The way that I like to do that is to mute them. There are several ways to mute strings with your left hand. With a D chord, it's really easy to use your thumb. And the way you do it is you lightly touch the strings you don't want to hear. And if you just lightly touch it with like the fleshy part of your thumb there, you can mute it, and when you strum, the lowest note you hear is the D string. Let me show you the difference. This is with me muting the strings. Very clean, very pure sounding D chord. This is without. It's much more muddy, much more chaotic. Sounds like pancake batter spilled on the floor. That's a nice fluffy pancake. Okay, so that's how to do with D. I like doing with my thumb, but there are a million chords that have strings that you can mute. Another way you can do it is with the fleshy part of your other fingers on a string next to a string that you're playing. For example, let me show you on a C, which is fingered like this. Now say, for example, you don't want to hear that note for some reason. Call it a creative choice. You don't want to hear that. But how could you skip that string if you were strumming? It'd be really hard. It would sound like this. Which is a cool chord, but maybe not what you're going for. One way you can mute it is with the fleshy part of your middle finger right there. You just rock it back a little bit, and again, lightly touch it on the string. And then when you strum, you just don't have that note. It's gone. It's muted. It's beautiful. Without the muting, with the muting. Super easy, right? Let's see, what's another good way to do this? Oh, on a G chord, the way that I always play G, okay, always, you should never use the words never or always. Even though I just did use the word never. You should still never use the word never or always. But the way I most often play G is like this. And when I'm doing that, I'm muting the A string with the fleshy part of my middle finger. Same way I did it with the C chord. I'm fingering on the 3rd fret and then muting the A string with the rest of that finger. And if I wasn't muting that, it would sound like this. Not what I'm going for. I want it to sound like this. Now, why don't I just put down my first finger the way most people play G? Because I like doing things with my first finger. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't muting this string. It would sound like this. Messy. Not so fun. You mute it, it sounds great. Now, one thing you can use this for, which is one of my favorite applications of left hand muting or fingering hand muting, is to make a half of a bar chord. So a normal bar chord, you bar across all 6 strings and play a chord in front of that bar like this, on which is an A. And that has 6 notes. What if I only want 3? What if I want a more minimal sounding chord? Well, I could play just 5th fret, excuse me, the A, the E, and then the C sharp, which is on the 6th fret of the G string. But then how would I not hit those other 3 strings, which sounds weird? Well, you can do what we just talked about. You mute it with the fleshy part of your ring finger, and then with these 2 strings that are ringing open, you mute it with the fleshy part of your middle finger and this way back part here of your first finger. And you can strum and only hit the 3 strings that you have your fingers on. And it sounds super cool. And you're only playing 3 strings. That's a really tight sounding cool chord. You can do the same thing with the other shapes of bar chords. So the A, you play just your first finger and then 2 frets higher on the next string, your ring finger, mute the next string, and then that same fret with your pinky. It looks kind of like that. And you mute the rest of the strings with the various different parts of your finger that aren't playing. Sounds like this. Super cool. And it works with the minor shape of that chord too, which is really cool. And one of my favorite chord progressions uses this exact technique, and I'll have a link to this progression down in the description of this video. It sounds like this. Super cool, right? And I'm only playing 3 strings that whole time, muting the rest of them with different digits. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you can find new ways to get cleaner, tighter chords, and have some fun making up new stuff, because that's what music's all about, right? Hey guys, hope you liked this video. Hoped it was helpful for you. If you did like it, please remember to like and subscribe. Hope you have a great day. Peace.